Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. A host of tenders, including construction of new roads and leveling sites at new residential district in the Wilaya of Liwa, are awarded. Transforming ideas into projects and review of planning techniques are the main themes of the third Youth Forum. And Western leaders at NATO Extraordinary Summit in the United Kingdom discuss means of resolving Ukraine's crisis. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The tender board awarded in its meeting development projects worth more than 93.68 million Omani riyals. The awarded projects were mainly approving construction of roads, leveling sites at new residential area in the Wilaya of Liwa in the government of North Al-Batna, implementation of Huqil Mili project in the Wilaya of Rustaq in the governorate of South Batna, establishment of sports complex in the Wilaya of Rustaq, in addition to approving setting up another sports complex in the Wilaya of Ibra. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin Safi Al-Harabi, Chairman of the Tender Board. Transferring ideas to projects and ways to reach targeted goals and plan for it were the main topics discussed by lecturers at the third Youth Forum, hosted by the Omani Women's Association in Muscat. The lectures also tackled thinking skills, creative planning, and drugs combat. The forum, which concluded its activities, also aimed to enhance youth capabilities and open horizon for them to contribute voluntary work. Still to come in our news bulletin. Renewable Energy Laboratory of the College of Engineering at Sohar University is selected among the best 5 laboratories in the world.
من هنا تبدأ أسطر الحكاية. تقاليدها راسخة كالجبال. أصالتها مضرب مثل في كل مكان. بساطتها ليس لها مثيل. لا حدود لكرمها. حاضرها مشرق متجدد. مهرجان الصلالة السياحي 2014 من 30 من يوليو إلى 6 من سبتمبر.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. NATO leaders grappled today with whether the alliance has a role in containing a mounting militant threat in the Middle East, as heads of state converged in Wales for a high-stakes summit, also focused on the crisis in Ukraine and next steps in Afghanistan. President Petro Poroshenko said he would order a ceasefire tomorrow for Ukraine's armed forces battling pro-Russian separatists, paving the way for implementation of a stage-by-stage peace plan for his country. Speaking on the sidelines of a NATO summit in Wales today, he added that the ceasefire was confidential on a planned meeting going ahead in Minsk tomorrow of envoys from Ukraine, Russia, and Europe's OSCE Security Watch. Barack Obama and his 27 allies are set to meet at the Gulf Resort in Wales and will also discuss how to tackle the Daesh militants straddling parts of Iraq and Syria and how to stabilize Afghanistan when NATO forces leave at year's end. Houses in Donetsk Lifi Petrovka district were pockmarked with shrapnel. Residents had sought refuge in a bomb shelter. 3 military-type vehicles were seen today in Berzov, a village along the main road connecting Mariupol and Donetsk, the largest rebel-held city in eastern Ukraine. Rebel fighters were seen moving nearby, indicating they could be trying to take control of the strategically important highway. Traffic in the area was suspended and a line of cars was formed on the highway as people were waiting to continue their journeys. Rebels have made substantial advances against Ukrainian forces over the past 2 weeks, including opening a new front along the coast of the Sea of Azov. World powers and Iran will hold a new round of nuclear talks in New York on September 18th. European Union Foreign Policy Office said the New York talks will be preceded by bilateral meetings at the level of political directors. Iran and the United States began bilateral nuclear talks in Geneva today, the second time the two sides have met since Iran and 6 world powers failed to meet a July 20th deadline to resolve differences in the long-standing dispute. Taliban insurgents detonated truck bombs and fired rocket-propelled grenades outside the office of Afghanistan's spy agency and a police compound in the central town of Ghazni today, killing 18 people. More than 150 people were wounded in the attack, the biggest in recent weeks, as Afghanistan's leadership grapples with a political crisis and a security vacuum as most foreign troops prepare to leave the country. Ghazni provincial governor said a group of 19 insurgents was involved in the simultaneous attacks on the local office of the National Director of Security and a quick reaction team housed in the police building. The attack in Ghazni, one of the provinces that surround the capital city of Kabul, is the latest in a series of offensives launched by the Taliban in the summer fighting season. 65 people were killed after heavy rains caused flash floods in Indian-administered Kashmir, including a wedding party on a bus that was swept away. Authorities declared a disaster alert in the northern region villages across the Kashmir Valley. The bus accident occurred in Rajouri, 170 kilometers south of the region's main city of Srinagar. Heavy rain is expected for the next 48 hours. The state's main river and its tributaries are flowing several feet above the danger mark. At least 15 people, including a border guard, were killed in separate rain-related incidents. All schools and colleges were closed and exams postponed. Registering a record level, Muscat Securities Market Index performance is considered the best since 6.5 years, adding this week 118 points at a percentage of 1.61 in an active circulation that surpassed 36 million Omani riyals after more than 105 million shares traded. The final session of the week reached to 7,479 points. Main sectors closed this week's final session at the green zone. Within the activities of the 13th International Renewable Energy Conference in the United Kingdom, Renewable Energy Laboratory of the College of Engineering at Sohar University was selected among the best 5 laboratories in the world and the first in the field of solar cells. It was chosen as per standards set up by the International Renewable Energy Organization, such as the outcome of the laboratory and its impacts, the volume of support, equipment, tools, and systems. The laboratory consists of 6 main systems. All equipment and appliances in the laboratory that use solar energy were funded by the Research Council in the Sultanate. The total cost of laboratory amounted to 46,550 Omani riyals, while its equipment and systems reached more than 37,000 Omani riyals received from the Council. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear to partly cloudy skies with chances of scattered rain over parts of the Hajar Mountains. Winds will be southerly to southwesterly moderate to active along the eastern coast, while it will be southeasterly light to moderate over the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coastal areas of Arabian Sea will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 3 meters. Along the rest of the coast, it will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. A host of tenders, including construction of new roads and leveling sites at new residential district in the Wilaya of Liwa, are awarded. Transforming ideas into projects and review of planning techniques are the main themes of the third Youth Forum. And Western leaders at NATO Extraordinary Summit in the United Kingdom discussed means of resolving Ukraine's crisis. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.